guys, welcome back to another Talk Coventry City video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the newly released Coventry City players ratings on FIFA 21, and there are some shockers in here, so let's get into it. So then guys, going through it with the highest ratings first. First up we've got Francati Dabo, who is our highest rated player, which is brilliant for me. I think that Francati Dabo was amazing last season. He was obviously our player of the year, so it is right that he is the top rated player for us, but 70 rating is very unfair on him. And if you look at his stats, 73 pace, 65 dribbling, I think he's been very harshly done here. Obviously it's great to see him as our best rated player, but I think he's been really harshly done. He could be a 73, 74, no question. I know we've just come up, but I think that's why FIFA are going to be harsh to us. So Francati Dabo is our highest rated player at 70. We then have Leo Ostergaard, who is our new signing, who is a 69 rated player. I also think he's been harshly done. I think obviously we've only seen him a couple of games, but I think he's been solid. For me, the best player of September for Coventry City. He's got 67 pace, 36 shooting, 46 passing, 54 dribbling, 69 defending, 74 physical, so the stats aren't great. A bit unfair there on Leo Ostergaard. Next up we have Gustavo Heimer, who is arguably one of our best players, another player that we've just signed, who is 69 rated as well. Now his stats are 65 pace, 64 shooting, 71 passing, 67 dribbling, 64 defending and 74 physical. So his stats are pretty good, but like I said, he's one of our better players, so for him to be under 70 is quite harsh. I do think that FIFA have been really harsh on Coventry. I'd have given Gustavo Heimer, you know, in the low 70s, so a couple more ratings. So I think that's really, really harsh. Next up we have Matty Gordon, who is our leading top goal scorer for this season and was last season. Now his rating's obviously gone up. He is now 68 and his stats aren't great either, to be honest. 65 pace, 68 shooting. Now for someone who was, you know, the top scorer for the team that finished top in League One, I think those stats are really, really harsh. I don't think FIFA have been very generous to Coventry City at all. Next up is Mccallum, who I'm quite surprised to see in the top 5 players on FIFA for Coventry. 67 rated, he's a CDM, 50 pace, which, you know, okay, he isn't the fastest, I'll give him that. 52 shooting, okay, he doesn't score that many goals, but 63 passing, 59 dribbling, 64 defending and 74 physical, so that's quite good. He definitely gets stuck in. He's probably one of the best tacklers that we've got in our midfield. He does the dirty side of the game really well, so I think they've been fairly decent with Liam Kelly. Next up is Calum O'hare, another player that you could say has been harshly done here. Now we all know he is quality, he's young, he'll only get better, but I still think they've, you know, not given him the best ratings. He's 67 overall. 79 pace, okay, that's pretty good. 56 shooting, 61 passing, 72 dribbling, so that's pretty good. 50 defending and 56 physical, fair enough, you know, he's agile. Although he does throw himself into a tackle, which you've got to love about Calum O'hare. So I think, you know, he could be a couple ratings higher. Next up is Morossi, who is also 67 rated. Now he's 68 diving, 64 handling, 68 kicking, 68 reflexes, 41 speed, 66 positioning. Now obviously I'm going to argue for all the Coventry City players and think, you know, I think they're better than what their ratings are, but Morossi is another one. For me, one of the best players from last season, so 67 is quite harsh. That's one of the lowest first choice keeper ratings in the Championship, and I think Morossi is probably, you know, fairly, you know, decent for the Championship, you know, as a goalkeeper. Next up then we've got Jamie Allen, also 67 rated, so we've got a lot of 67 rated players. 75 pace, which is quite good. 56 shooting, 66 passing, 67 dribbling, 63 defending, 72 physical, so that's quite good for Jamie Allen, who's only a slight player. I'd say those ratings are fair. Jamie Allen's a good player, 67's probably about right. I could make a case about Jamie Allen's ratings could be better. Obviously he was very good last season, but you know, I think 67, yeah, that's fair. He only played the second half of the season for us. Next up we have Michael Rose, who is 67 rated again, the centre-back from Scotland. 59 pace, 39 shooting, 57 passing, 58 dribbling, 67 defending, 71 physical. So his defensive and physical stats are quite good, which you'd expect for a centre-back. So I'm fairly pleased with that. Michael Rose was a lot of people's player of the season, so 67 isn't too bad. Once again, I could make a case for it being slightly higher, but I'll settle for 67. Another 67 rating here is Da Costa. I really don't know what to say. We haven't seen him play yet. Obviously we signed him this summer. and I think he'll be a good player, but we haven't seen him, so I can't judge this. But 78 pace, which is going to be pretty good to see. 32 shooting, so he might need to, you know, practice a little bit. 57 passing, 63 dribbling, 60 defending, and 73 physical. So he'll be, you know, quite an exciting player to watch by the looks of it. Obviously quite physical and quite pacey, a bit like Dabo. The next player then is another 67 rated player. Kyle McFadzean, the rock at the back for Coventry City last season. 42 pace, okay, fair enough, he's not that fast. 37 shooting, 45 passing, fair enough. 45 dribbling, okay. 66 defending and 76 physical, which is what you like to see. Kyle McFadzean, a rock at the back for Coventry City. So some good stats there for Kyle McFadzean. Next up then is 66 rated Jordan Shipley with what I'd say is fair stats there. If you look at that, they're all in the 60s. I think Jordan Shipley, this is going to be a really, really big year for him now. Obviously, he's been with us since League 2, so it's a real big step up now to come up 2 divisions. I think he will settle in okay. He's had a bit of game time in the first 3 games, so, you know, it might take a little bit of time, but I think Jordan Shipley will settle in. I think these ratings are fair. Next up then, we have 66 rated Brandon Mason. Now, you could maybe have a case for these ratings being a bit too high for him because we didn't see much of him last season. A lot of people do love this guy. I think Brandon Mason's a decent left back. It says he's a left wing back actually, but we didn't see much of him last season because of Sam Mccallum. So for him to get a 66 card, that is pretty good going. 82 pace, so that's going to be a pretty fast card to use on FIFA. Next up then is Dom Hyam, 66 rated, definitely underrated on this. Dom Hyam should be up there with Michael Rose and Kyle McFadzean because he is solid. They're all as good as each other in my opinion. So 66 rated for Hyam is quite unfair. 53 pace, fair enough, he's not that fast, but his defence and physical could be a bit higher than what it is. Then we have Sam Mccallum, 66 rated. That doesn't make any sense. He was the first choice left back last season, so why Brandon Mason is, you know, the same rating as him, I really don't understand. But yeah, 79 pace, 55 shooting, 60 passing, 63 dribbling, 61 defending and 65 physical. So, you know, definitely could be higher for Sam Mccallum. It'll be interesting to see if he can get into the team now. Ryan Giles has taken his position, but I think once Mccallum is back up to fitness, he will come back into the team. Next up then we have 65 rated Tyler Walker, the new signing. Obviously we've only seen him in a couple of games. He got that goal away at MK Dons in the Carabao Cup, and I'm surprised he is 65 rating because he's proven himself at a lot of clubs. At Lincoln City last season he scored a handful of goals. 84 pace, that's really going to be, you know, a good card to use on FIFA. 65 shooting, which is okay I suppose, and the rest of his stats are okay, but you could definitely say that Tyler Walker could be higher rated than what he is. Next up then we have Wesley Dubello, an injured player from last season, who's still injured at the moment. He hasn't come back into the squad yet anyway. 65 rated for the right winger, 76 pace, 65 shooting, 58 passing, 66 dribbling, 26 defending, blimey, 56 dribbling, so they're not bad stats for Dubello. I'm really excited to see him get back up to full fitness because he will definitely make a case to get into that team. He was very good at the start of last season, so let's see what happens with Wesley Dubello. And then here come the bronze cards. Hilsner, who we've just signed, who we haven't seen yet, is 64 rated. I really can't comment on that. Ben Sheaf, 64 rated. Quite harsh considering he was quite good for Doncaster last season. I think Ben Sheaf is going to be an interesting player this season. With the midfielders we've got, you know, they all have to make a case for themselves getting into this starting 11, and Ben Sheaf has been fairly decent so far. I think some fans have taken to him, some have been, you know, not so impressed, but I think he's had an okay start, so let's see what happens with him. And last up is 64 rated Jodie Jones, who we haven't seen play properly for a few years now, obviously hit by 3 ACL injuries, which is awful. I hope he gets back up to fitness, but you know, after the 3rd one you've really got to worry about his career in football. Obviously Coventry City have taken the gamble by sticking by him, which is, you know, a really nice gesture, but is it sustainable? I mean, will Jodie Jones actually come back from this injury and be able to play football long term? We don't know, but I do wish him all the best. I think Jodie Jones is a brilliant player when he is at full fitness. And that rounds up the full team then. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the FIFA ratings. I think we've been quite harshly done. I think there's a few players that could be quite a bit higher. There's not too many players that have been overrated. But let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace out.